Let's build freedom!
G'day everyone out there in podcast land. Who here has donated money and has seen it make an impactful change? A lot of the time you don't see this happen because the money is taken away by the middlemen. Today we've got DigiDonate, and particularly we've got Simon and Erica to talk to us today about how they're making the world a better place by changing around the way that money's handled to make sure it gets through to the people that you're meant to be making an impact with. So thank you very much for jumping on the show, guys. And I'm going to start with a loaded question. How are you doing this? How does this work? How can you make sure that you've minimized your overheads and you're keeping transparency?
G'day. Thank you for having us on the show, Josh. Very cool to be here. So what we've done is we have looked at an industry that's existed for hundreds of years in a way or in a state where there's no transparency. There's lots of uncertainty, and trust has eroded from the donors. So to turn that around, we've decided to adopt the most latest and coolest technology out there, which is the blockchain, which allows the donations to be recorded in a public ledger, and that provides the secure transaction part to the journey of the funds. And on the beneficiary side, we've made them come back to our centralized platform where they give donors feedback how much impact the dollar has actually made in the real world, and kickstart the journey on the platform. They can comment, they can edit, they can even re-verify those updates as well to make sure that it's as transparent as possible. And we're all about restoring trust. So
yeah. I love it. When it comes to the public ledger, how does that work functionally for people that are using, or for you guys when you're using blockchain?
So the word public ledger pretty much explains it. So if you know the transaction hash or the code of the transaction, then you can just type it into what's called a block explorer. It's a website dedicated to all the transactions that happen in whatever blockchain you're using, whether it's Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin even. Then you can just pull the details of that transaction and you can publicly view it, exactly where the money came from. There's no names attached. There's just a bunch of numbers and letters, which is a wallet, and then it's just showing the transaction, and then it shows which wallet it's going to. And that's how it works. And it hasn't got any edit or delete command. So once it's written into the blockchain, it gets written into a lot of computers worldwide, just to keep it layman's, and it gets verified, and you can't hack it, because then it means you would have to, even trying to do a 51% hack on a blockchain where you don't know where those computers are in the world. There might be millions of them or tens of thousands, depending on how many verifications you have. It's almost an impossible task. Never been done before.
I like it. And so from that, I guess if I or anyone else wanted to donate money, currently I might whip out the credit card or give some bank details if I happen to have some cash, and it's a situation where I'm walking past someone, you might give them some cash. How easily can you convert dollary dues into meaningful transactions that impact lives?
Oh, so very simple. So we've partnered with a company that allows donors to donate over 200 different cryptocurrencies flowing, so that means money flowing in, and at the same time cash as well. So whatever currency you want to transact with, you just enter your credit card details and pay the money, and it automatically gets passed on through their system and ends up on the other side.
And I guess so. I've myself played a little bit around with Bitcoin investments and things like that, and the verification processes have been lengthy at best. There we go. How do you make sure you can remove some of those frictions, or do you still have a lot of verification processes for people to put through donations?
So for that, what we've done is there's a process called KYC, KYB, and anti-money laundering practices, which we've adopted for this particular project. And we have to anyway, because it's a fintech company. KYC means basically when you go into a bank and open a bank account, you have to present a form of ID, prove who you are. They'll take your photo and everything. And this is the same process that happens in our ecosystem as well. except it's on your phone and it is fully automated. Nowadays, you don't need human interaction. So AI and the algorithms are so complex and advanced nowadays that it will just make sure that you can't cheat it almost. KYB means, you know your business. So those are the beneficiaries on the receiving end if they're a company. And they just have to provide some financial details and some documentation before we can release funds to them to abide with all the anti-money laundering practices that we want to comply with as well. Sort of that's how we get around them. And if the donor wants to stay anonymous, they can on our platform. We just pass on what's called zero knowledge proof token, which basically tells the platform that yes, this person is KYC'd, and they just don't want to reveal their name of where the money is coming from. When I talked with Tim, and Tim goes that if I donate $50, but another guy down the road donates 50,000, he might be targeted for more donations in the future because he's given a lot of money
bags,
and then shows Tim as a cheapskate for not giving enough. So it's just sort of it's a personal choice, and you get a tax write-off as well if anyone's concerned on our platform to make sure that people donate for various reasons. Yeah, one is hopefully the main one is that they actually want to do good in the world and change it for the better, and then the other one is they just want to get a tax break and still is or a combination of both. Yeah, I love it.
have you found the uptake has been all right? And is there any sort of regulations that are impacting the adoption of this model?
Yes, yeah, definitely has been. We've got quite a few pre-signups.
Yeah, so we're in the throes of obviously designing the platform, and we've got the prototype, etc. So we are just at the moment gathering people to go on the wait list, ready for when we launch. But the uptake has been pretty amazing, actually. People are just wink up, we get started. Not just people that want to donate, but also charities that want to come on board.
And I guess with that, like we were mentioning already, like I've donated myself to many different charities. I was a member of the Surf Life Saving Club here in Australia. With charities that have sort of set up these more traditional systems where they're maybe taking quite a lot of the coin towards their own overheads and administration purposes. Do you see that that's going to have an issue with them with uptake, or how's that going to affect the current charities and the way that they're doing the business that they're doing?
I think we see it as another string for them to fundraise. A cheaper way. Obviously, our aim is initially to make it at least 85% that actually goes to the cause and not in marketing, where at the moment it's almost the other way around. So I don't think we'll replace all their normal fundraising. People will still probably want to have events and things to fundraise, and they'll have their own ways. But we hope that in the future, this will be a much smarter, more economical way to actually get as much of the funds to the right people. So, yeah.
I love it, and I think like a lot of other people would. I would jump straight back on to putting through scheduled donations if I knew that the money was actually going to where I wanted to see it go, and that's I guess a big thing with me. And I find it interesting that particularly with blockchain and Bitcoin and other bits, and I think it's been sort of painted with the wrong light due to some of the ways that it's been used. Are there any other ethical considerations that you see that surround blockchain and the use of blockchain technology that could sort of tarnish, or do you see it sort of that sort of bad use of the process is being removed and it's now all roses?
It's definitely not entirely removed. So there's always gonna be people that will take advantage of the fact that a lot of donors and internet users, they don't really know what Bitcoin is all about and how it operates and what it can actually do. And unfortunately, there's quite a fair bit of scams going up in there as well. And that's when people hear crypto, they'll go, "Oh, it's a scam," and yada yada yada. And it was a lot worse years ago. where basically you just whip up an idea, type up one page, they call it white paper for your idea, and then go out there and do an ICO straight away. Basically, get a bunch of average Joe blows down the road to everyone puts $20 in the tin, and if you get enough people, suddenly you've got $1 million, and then they'll go, yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll make a lot of noise, and then once they receive the money, they're just gonna dump the tokens, and like the owners of the project, they'll just sell it off and then run away, and no one hears about them as. And that has happened, but we're putting ourselves out there, and we definitely, we have a plan. It's been vetted. It's been economically verified to make sure that we actually have a plan for the funds that we're for the funds that we're raising at the moment, and building a system that actually changes the world. Crazy enough to do that.
And just using that technology of the blockchain, I think, is the key. That it's all verifiable, obviously, but the blockchain itself will actually prove what we're doing is correct and the money is going to the right places. So it's the technology that from the blockchain, I think that's a bit misunderstood.
Yeah, I guess that just comes down to time and people learning, and depending on where they are on the adoption curve, how they feel about it.
Which is what, like, there's no affiliation, obviously, but this is a great book written by Saifedian Amos, the Bitcoin Standard. This helps to understand money and Bitcoin and everything, and it's a great read. Definitely, Eric actually gave me that book to read, and it is absolutely fantastic. And he explains it in a very simple manner how blockchain works, and definitely recommend reading this book. You can pick it up probably from Amazon or from your local bookstore, and yeah.
Is that a book that, just for any of our listeners, that you would suggest they could listen to as an audiobook, or is it something that references a lot of figures, tables? I fell in the trap once of buying an accounting book, and I'm sitting in the car and it says, reference figure 2, section A. I'm like, I can't do that while I'm driving. What a waste of a download. So I ended up buying the book anyway. Yeah. I don't know why they even bothered converting it into an audiobook. But that's
There's graphs in here, but it's mainly text, so it's more for as I said, for laymen to understand what this industry and the technology is all about.
I love it. So I also love that it's not, say, something that you're being spooked to at a shopping center, for instance, as people are harassing you. It's something that's very non-intrusive. You know that the money's going there. You can't see these generally younger audience that are standing there, teenagers trying to sell you whatever it is to spend money on, where you know they're getting paid to be standing there. So I kind of feel like you can see straight away it's removing overheads and creating change, creating a difference, which is nice on a global scale.
Also, I think the beauty of the platform will be that you can actually do your own fundraising for your neighbour or your auntie that's just got cancer and needs a life-saving operation or whatever. And unlike some of the other platforms that are out there, it just can't be scammed. You can't just take the money yourself and put it in your own pocket. So
Data.
that part, I think, is going to be very exciting. Make people proactive in their own fundraising of helping people.
On that, I guess, so if you have someone that does have a terminal illness or something that they may need to get a fundraising campaign for, this sounds like it scales from a single problem that you might be solving, be it a community issue or a loved one or something like this, and scales upwards to full international problems that you may be solving. So am I right in saying that?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Which I think again brings a huge audience about having a single platform where you know that there's a trust first platform that you're working with. It's lovely. I love it. What made you think about coming up with this? Where did this come from?
Okay, I'll let you start.
Well, I had a friend and I talked about trying to reduce the overheads in fundraising 20 years ago, and we did actually start a website to implement that. It was very regulated and we nearly got blacklisted. And at the time, we just didn't have the resources to sort of go any further. And then about 5 years ago, I think Simon started talking about this blockchain, Bitcoin things, and I was had no idea about it. So he educated me. Obviously, he's a lot younger, so he's in the know with these things.
Oof.
And then one day he actually said, "I think we should do it with fundraising." And I just went, "Oh, that aligns with what I wanted to do years ago," and it just went from there. So, and what was your experience, Simon? You had that person at the shopping centre.
Yes, yeah.
You freaked out how much they actually.
I was in WA, and I was approached by one of the guys. That was back in 2011, and he goes, "Oh, can you donate for?" I don't even remember what the cause was, but he's like, "Can you donate money for such and such cause?" And he had this tin jar in his hand, literally tin jar, and had all this like marketing stuff around it, what the cause is, and etc. And he gave me a bit of a spiel. I said, "I'm not sure if that money goes into your pocket, mate. You know, obviously you're standing in here and collecting the funds." And he goes, "Oh, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable in telling you that." I said, "Okay, I'll pop $100 into the tin jar if you're going to tell me." And he said, "Okay," because now his money going into his pocket as well and more. So I was initially going to put 50, and then I put the money in, and he goes, half of it goes into my pocket. I said, "Okay, so I basically gave you $50 now. And then you're hired by a company to be here as well. And they're going to take a cut." And then it just sort of, it stayed with me for a little bit, and I forgot about it for years. And, I still felt good about myself and everything, and that I've contributed to a cause. Um, but yeah, just I saw an opportunity. We started building the DigiDonate idea in a completely different direction in the beginning, and it just evolved into what it is today. And then it just, this old emotion came back at me. And Erica actually mentioned her story around doing the fundraising as well back in the day. And I thought, fuck, that's such a brilliant idea. We could put two and two together, and then let's build a solution that actually works and is compliant. And yeah. And I love the fact that communities can come together and help. Just to give you an example, the other day, my car's electronic brake went on. Just literally went on, and some sort of an actuator just blew itself, a fuse or whatever. I was stuck on the side of the road suddenly, and I was on my way to Erica's mum's birthday, her 85th birthday. And yeah, I'm there. Mrs. is out from the car. We're trying to move this car backwards and forwards, because I called my mechanic. He goes, "You need to rock the car backwards and forwards and pull this string on the back of the car. A cable that releases the handbrake." And I mean, it's a 2-ton car, and she's out there in her heels and stuff trying to push it. It's like, no, this is not working. And suddenly a guy just pulls past and just jumps out of his car, just comes and gives us a hand. And at the same time, my missus had some sort of we were supposed to go to our home as well, and meet up with a buyer from Gumtree that was purchasing an old suitcase or something from her. And obviously we're stuck on the side of the road. They come over there as well, and they bring cookies and snacks and stuff for the kids. It's like, this is just, no one asked them to do that. It's a complete stranger. First of all, someone's coming to help you work out the car situation. Someone else is bringing the snacks. It is just the way Australians operate, and hopefully it's the same globally as well. And absolutely love it.
So I definitely think we're ones for giving back. I had a guy yesterday. I was darting off to the doctors, and I saw a guy that was having a lot of trouble reversing a trailer. And I looked at him and thought, he's doing that wrong. I thought I should give him a hand. And then I thought, but I was already 2 minutes late for the doctor's appointment. So I ran into the doctor's appointment, and they said, "Oh, we've got a 15-minute wait at the moment." So I ran back out and helped him reverse and got it all sorted. But yeah, it's about doing the little things, and I think it makes you feel better in here, and they feel better. And it just makes everyone. It's a better community. That is something that I definitely love about Australia. Without mentioning any other country, I've gone to other countries where they don't necessarily help as much. But I feel like in Australia we're living with a lot of really lovely people.
Yes, New Zealand as well, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%.
And I have to say, I get phone calls every day from people trying to raise funds, obviously, fundraising. And I used to always give, and now, obviously, because we have our own platform coming, it's a little bit different. But they would ring me every year and say, "Oh, you gave last year." And I think, well, you never rang me to tell me what that actually did. I don't know where it actually went. And yet you're ringing me again because you know I'm going to give you. And it's just like, I want to feel good about my donation. So I want to know what it actually did.
Yes,
You know,
you're bang on there. A lot of the time they ask for a handout and they prey on the nice people. Mum has my late mother, I guess, passed away a couple of years ago. And when Dad was going through all the different bits and pieces, she was donating about $500 a month. And he said it's disgusting that the calls that were coming through to her mobile phone were just give, give, give. Not this is the outcome that's happened from your donations. This is the impact. And I thought they need to have impactful stories, impactful results, and they're not doing it. It's definitely just a tick and flick to assess without any emotion involved.
and even if they say they've done it, how do I know that's actually been done?
Yes.
You know,
That's right.
now I actually ask them, are you calling from a call center or are you actually the actual company that's raising the funds? So, and it's always call centers. So,
And further to your point there, Simon, on the guy with the tin, and you dropped the $100 in. I've always thought, why wouldn't they just go out and rebadge a Milo tin and just carry all the coin? But I wasn't aware they were taking 50%.
Um,
Carrying 50% of the money that's coming in. That'd be stupid to do that. I didn't know that was that drastic, straight to their pocket. This disgusting. That's not ethical.
we've
not.
we've had a chat, obviously, with quite a few charities now as well as part of our research on the industry and etc. And even if they're trying to do everything by the book and minimize as much as their overheads, you're still looking at 45% and more cost to raise. This is just literally just doing the minimum overheads as you can without too much marketing, etc. But 60, 70, and sometimes, as Erica earlier mentioned as well, our research shows up to 80% of the funds just literally disappear. So you don't reach the cause, then what's the point?
Absolutely. It's just oiling someone else's pocket, not actually the reason that you're giving the money away, hard-earned cash.
Exactly.
With that, I guess if people wanted to jump onto your platform, be it a current charity or someone that's going through a period in their life, maybe it's homelessness or something like that, or maybe you've just missed the money bags and you want to offset some coin before the end of the financial year, what's the best way for them to jump on and contact you guys?
So we currently have there's a website. It's called digidonate.au or .com.au. Yeah, make your pick. They lead to the same place, and just go into our waiting list on our website. As we're currently doing an equity raise and gearing up to build out the minimum viable product and launch into the market. Meanwhile, we just come and join us for the journey. Early adopters also in the waitlist, they'll be eligible for what's called an airdrop. Basically, you'll get some tokens from us, and you can do whatever you want with them. You can cash them in when the time comes, or you can donate them away, hopefully, to our cause. So that's what we're all striving for, or do a combination of both. And yeah, that's sort of all I got to say about that, I suppose.
Well, we'll make sure to put a link in there to on the podcast here, as well as in the blog article that we'll pull through. And it sounds like obviously this is a very noteworthy cause that you guys are pushing through. We always like to hear. Obviously, the podcast is a business built freedom. What is business freedom to? I was going to say both of you, but we'll start with Erica first. What's business freedom to you? Why do you do the voodoo that you do?
Well, I've been in business for over 30 years and I do it because I've actually got freedom tattooed on my wrist. Because freedom for me is the freedom to create, freedom to have the money that you want to do and do the things that you want to do in life. But also to give back and help others, because at the end of the day, unless you've got a team around you that you can help, the journey alone is quite boring. So you need to live through other people and give back, and have the freedom to do that through business. Yeah. Wow, I've been in business so long.
When you were not out golfing, what do you do? What does business the business freedom has built for you personally?
Well, my golf game is very rusty, so I'm a new to golf as well. So earlier we're talking about handicap mines. I would say 4. You know, like when you hit the ball and then it going in an unknown direction and you just warn everyone else on the course. But in business, I've actually got freedom tattooed on my back as well, so we're both marked that way.
I feel like I'm missing out.
Well, mine's over there. It's not in words. It's actually a mark of a freedom. It's a symbol. But for me, it's freedom of choice, freedom of spending time with my family, and as Erica mentioned, freedom of helping others as well around us, and making sure that they have a choice to do whatever they want to do in their life, and be successful at it and happy. And that's about it, I think.
I think I have to say Simon's very creative as well, and has a photographic memory. So yeah, whatever he puts his mind to, he excels in. So it's a pleasure to work with him, actually.
Thank you.
A force. Photographic memory will be a force of reckoning. Love it. And you were saying that the Bitcoin standard is that by Michael Slayer? Is that right?
No, this one. Oh, yes. So forward is by Michael Saylor. But it's actually Cypherian Amos. It's a very weird name, but you know, it's a weird technology as well. So I'll hold up the book for you for a second. So have a look.
Cool. We'll make sure to put a link to that as well for anyone that's listening out there. I've really loved having you both on the show, and I'd love to open you up to our audience if there's any questions and bits and pieces after the episode's been released through LinkedIn and our Facebook groups. So feel free to reach out there or on digidonate.au. Thank you very much for being on the podcast, and
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
thank you very much.